Right, hello everybody. Welcome to another video from AA Sports Cards. What you are looking at is a very large group of Beehive photos, as well as some other things, but mostly Beehive photos. And the great thing is, hi everybody, the great thing is they are all group one. Now, a little context here. When I was collecting, I never collected Beehive photos. So I'm 60 years old. I'm from Western Canada. Beehive photos, to me, were something that were much more popular in Eastern Canada. When I would go to shows in Toronto or Montreal, it seemed like beehives were a really big deal. In Western Canada, when I go to shows in Calgary and Edmonton and Vancouver, not so much. So maybe, the distribution was much greater in Eastern Canada. You had Toronto and Montreal, 6 Canadian teams at the time when the Group 1s were issued. When they went into expansion, the promotion ended in 1967 before expansion. And so the Canucks never had photos. That could be part of the reason. So beehives were never really on my radar. And recently I was contacted by a gentleman from Ontario, and this is the FedEx box. He sent me the collection in overnight, which was beautiful. We got finished talking on Monday. The photos were here on Tuesday. So in going through the collection, what really struck me is how beautiful beehive photos are. And again, these are all Group 1 photos issued from 1934 to 1943, I think. Again, I'm not hugely knowledgeable on beehive photos. The really interesting thing is a lot of players, I'm assuming, were off fighting in World War I. So a lot of the players are people that you don't really know or recognize, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I just can't get over how beautiful. Are we getting glare here? I just can't get over how beautiful some of these are. And again, I'm a goalie guy, so I'm going to go to the goalies. But I mean, look at that. I mean, that's enough to make me want to collect again. I believe that's Alex Connell, from Montreal Maroons. I mean, everything, the equipment, the jersey, the hat. He looks to me like a baseball umpire there, or a baseball manager more than a goalie. But I mean, again, glare? I mean, the sensational stuff. Sensational. I just can't get over how aesthetically pleasing these photos are. And yes, I'm talking about a lot of the goalies, but talking again about a lot of players were off fighting in the war. A lot of these players I've never heard of. Claude Bourque, never knew he played for the Montreal Canadiens, never knew he was a goalie, never knew a blocker could be so cool. Oh my God, look at that. And again, there's Bert Gardner. Don't know who that is, never heard of him. Phil Stein. I mean, it's incredible. Look at those goalie pads. Those are big for the era, but just awesome stuff. So I also wanted to touch on, there were still some great players playing. Tell me if we're getting glare. There were still some great players in the league. And again, one of the things with Beehive photos is kids, and I'm assuming it was mostly kids, could choose who they wanted. So the understanding is the star players, especially when we get into Group 2 and Group 3, Gordie Howe, Maurice Richard, Jean Beliveau, Jacques Plante, are much more common than the cup of coffee guys. But again, the NHL still had a lot of stars. There's Joe Primo. There's Marty Burke. There's Max Bentley. I hope we're not getting glare. These are all wrapped individually, which is really great, actually. There's Nels Stewart. Fantastic jersey. Arguably, I mean, look, I always thought the Chicago Blackhawks had the nicest jerseys in sport, period. And I still think they do. But that Maroons jersey, man, that is something else. Here is Milt Schmidt. Very cool photo of Milt Schmidt. Dick Clapper with a little bit of writing on it, and Ching Johnson. So again, lots of well-known players still in the game. There's a big stack of photos. Not going to go through all those individually. Want to talk about those after, but there are some very scarce photos in the collection, and I want to focus on these. So this is I believe the rarest photo. We're getting glare. The rarest photo in the collection, which is Dave McKay. And again, I could be wrong. I didn't drop them. That's good. There's Charlie Rayner as a New York American. I don't want to move it too around. Are we good? Which is supposed to be quite a difficult photo to find. The announcers, Wes McKnight, who I believe was instrumental in the promotion of Beehive Photos. I believe he worked for a radio station. He was an announcer, obviously, behind the mic, but I think he hosted a program that might have been sponsored by the company that issued Beehive Photos. So that's the tie in there, and that's supposed to be a difficult photo. Gord Drillin. Again, I know there's a lot of variations with beehives, you know, in the different script or slightly different poses. There's Bucko McDonald, but I believe these are the harder photos to get within the collection. There's Gus Marker. There is Buddy O'Connor. Good showbiz name. There is Alex Singbush. There is Jerry Heffernan. Is that the right? Yeah, Heffernan. That's a scarce photo, I believe. Earl Robinson. Joe Papik. George Allen. Alfred Thurion. Cannot read. Thurier, I believe. Brooklyn. Look at that jersey. Brooklyn. Unbelievable. Great uniforms. Even in black and white, that pops. Eddie Shore, not a terribly scarce photo, but you know, decent. There is Grant Warwick, who won the Calder Trophy in 1940. Don't ask me how I know that. Norman Burns. Look at the elbow pads on Norman Burns. Babe Pratt. Doug McKay, which is quite a tough photo. Bill McKenzie, the Montreal Maroons, and Jerry Shannon. Yes, Jerry Shannon. So those are the tough ones in the collection. And I wanted to just show a couple other things that were also included. There are about 30 photos. These are Crown brand photos. Crown brand photos was the competition to Beehives. So Crown brand photos are numbered. Very similar style in the matting, as you can see. So Crown brand was really trying to take advantage of the popularity of Beehive Photos. And they are popular, but I don't believe as much as Beehive Photos. So the Morenz is the key, but there are lots of stars in here. And we will be offering these on eBay very soon. I know we're probably getting a little glare here, but I'm going through them quickly. There's Ariel Joliet. Claire? Again, these are also really attractive, not quite as striking as the Beehive Photos. There's Toe Blake, but I mean they're very, very cool. So again, mostly Montreal Canadiens. What a great photo there. But there are some other teams. There's Ace Bailey, and you get the picture. And then finally, there are 3 photos. These are 1938 Quaker Oats photos. Quaker Oats issued photos of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Far from a set, but I love these. They're gorgeous. There's Gordy Drillin. They're blank-backed. There is Pep Kelly, and there's Buzz Ball. So a fantastic collection. I don't know if I showed these. Probably didn't, because we're probably running out of time. No, I did. These are the rare ones. Okay. A fantastic collection of Beehive photos and some odds and ends as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And hold on tight here. Just let's close with this. If you are watching this video and you reside in Canada and you're thinking you have some stuff and you don't want to sell it yourself, I know we're not as well known as a lot of other third-party sellers, but the effort and care and pride we take in selling stuff for people, I believe, is right up there. If you have any doubts, go to our website, which is aasportscards.com. You will see pages and pages of testimonials from people that have sold cards through us. This is just one page, guys. There are pages and pages of these things. And if you click on them, you will see these are all real. These letters that people have written about us. And we're very proud of these testimonials after we've sold a collection for people. So if you have vintage hockey, baseball, etc., and you do not want to sell it yourself, and there's a lot of work involved, no matter how you go about doing it, contacting us, having us selling your cards for you, hiring us to do it takes all the work out of the equation, and our auctions are in US money. Thanks everybody for watching. Foster and I are going to sit back now and have more fun going through this collection. We'll be back with more videos very soon. And again, I'm a reborn Beehive guy. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.